jam.
Shot denying.
Miles rejected.
There's just an energy that comes with the Cats. A rich history built on toughness.
And Mick Cronin looks like he wants a technical.
A bring-your-own-lunch pail mentality. For a long time, UC was the hunted.
I felt that we couldn't lose.
I think it's time the Bearcats do a little hunting of their own.
Once y'all done with them, send them to me, man. You know what I mean? We can put them on the court. Keep that Bearcat thing going.
I am fired up.
Takes it all the way. Oh! It's going to be Little.
I wonder how Steve Logan would be over in Afghanistan or somewhere. I bet he'd be pretty poised. He just does not get rattled.
Man, Exo, he'll cut it loose. Watch out. Stevenson cut to the back. Oh! Kilpatrick outruns everybody. Johnson, the exclamation point.
We've been dealt the king of heartbreak over and over again.
Rozier. Smith and
Everything they worked for was undone on one play.
But I see the light. The Cats are back.
Lukosius, open three, got it! Oh, baby!
Welcome to the only live Bearcats postgame show on YouTube. This is Chatterbox Bearcats.
Welcome into Chatterbox Bearcats. Man, does it feel good to actually play the intro. We've just been skipping the intro as of late. 93-83. We beat UCF on the road, Central Florida on the road. A quad one victory, Wes Miller's first quad one of the season. This is the team that you thought you were going to see after out-of-conference play. We saw a lot of things clicking tonight. It helps to play, the 83rd ranked defense in Ken Palm. But my God, I mean, I was burying Wes. I really was. And I didn't think this team had any fight left in the tank. I really didn't. I thought guys looked like they were quitting, no effort. We did not see that tonight at all. Just a massive win for Wes Miller. I know it's just one game, but in this particular spot, to win this would have been a big win regardless. But where we were, just on a full-blown off-the-train track scenario, what a big win. Lily, welcome to the show. We got Lily. Chuck Walter had to jump in and handle the Jimmy Butler trade with the Golden State Warriors. Who cares about Jimmy Butler and the Warriors? UC just got a quad one win. Lily, how we doing?
Man, I feel good. And then I think the players feel good. And, this is a pathetic season, but with the few good moments we've had, I don't think we should just take them for granted, And in this last month, we talked about, me and Niehaus talked about this last night. It's like, what are you looking for this next month? And it's this. We still had all those moments at like 17 offensive rebounds for you. Like, my God, like I was losing my head on those offensive rebounds, and it just didn't matter. We were making shots. It was fun. UCF is an AAU team, and I think it kind of showed what we can be in a different setting. A lot of teams have found out how to beat us, just sit back and wait till we mess up. And UCF has not. They're not very good, not very well coached in my opinion. So great to see. And let's see who steps up down the stretch.
Right. And yes, UCF's undisciplined. It's a great way to get your offensive mojo back. But at the end of the day, we were actually making open shots. The game becomes a lot easier when you hit open shots. I mean, this is the highest point total we've seen ever. I mean, really, obviously, since conference play, we put up 93 points. We had Dayday Thomas go for 20. We'll start with Dayday Thomas. He had 18 in the first half. I mean, he was unconscious. The guy was attacking. He was hitting jump shots. It was truly a clinic that he put on. What'd you like from Dayday Thomas? Because there was some arguments in the group chat, or we're going to let people in on the group chat, where it's like, is Dayday Thomas our best player? And I'm like, Dayday Thomas might be our best player. Credit to Nick Niehaus for throwing that out there. But he really did. Granted, he only had 2 points in the second half, but the guy finished with 6 assists. He was still facilitating, attacking the rim. He's one of the few guys that can beat guys off the bounce. What'd you like from Dayday Thomas besides literally everything tonight?
I love Dayday. But like, everyone has like that one guy they love where other people are like, what? Like, what? Since day one, he just seems like a Bearcat to me. And we're lacking that on this team. He does a lot of dumb shit, just like most of our players, but he plays hard. He's a good defender. He has a flash highlight here and there. He's decent at threes now. Today, it was just setting the tone. That's what I liked from Dayday. He set the tone right away, and I kind of think the rest of the team followed because it wasn't like totally pretty in the first half. Like Dan was not good. I don't think I thought Dan was different today though. I thought he was not good because he was trying too hard. And when Dan tries too hard, he just does more dumb shit than he normally does. And it was nice to see Dan get a couple buckets in the second half there, but Dayday set the tone early, and everybody else took over after that. He got it going though, bat and lead off.
And you mentioned Dan Skillings, and you're right. It seems like he's forcing it because he's played so poorly that he's trying to force it. And they keep sitting on the backside defender just sits on his spin move. They know they've scouted it. They see that he does that spin move to get by somebody to go to the lane. They sit on it. He had some really, really bad turnovers. He had some critical. He had a nice three. He had some good possessions in the second half. Towards the end of the second half, by no means was it a good Dan Skillings game. But I'm starting to feel a little bit bad for Dan because it seems like there's something not there. It seems like he's going at about 75% ever since that injury. I hope that's not like a career-ending scenario where he's never going to get back to what we've seen. Even if he's not in a UC uniform, we don't know what's going to happen after this season. Sure, we beat UCF. I don't think we're on a trajectory to make the NCAA tournament by any means. But hey, I was fighting to just whisper to my girlfriend, like, we're back. We're back. We got 40 points in the half. We're back. I don't give a shit.
I've been seeing a lot of messages like that in group chats.
Right. Yeah. It's like all we needed was a little bit of hope. And it was actually just awesome to watch a game that was fun. I know you sent a text to me like, this game is unreal. It was a fun game to watch. And it's been 6 weeks since
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Let's just play like this the rest of the year, right? Like, what do you think? Like, even there's going to be more mistakes. We're going to be worse at rebounding. What do you think?
Listen, I say yes. I say we play like this. Listen, if we would have lost games in this fashion, let's say we lost this game by, 4 or 5 points, whatever it was, at least you saw some fight. It's kind of like when Mick Cronin first took over. We were, John Williamson and those guys. They weren't very good, but it was still fun to watch them play basketball. Over the last 6 weeks, it was like a horror film. I was watching Hereditary on repeat every Tuesday and Saturday, and this was actually fun. I mean, guys were fighting. Again, it always helps when you make some shots. It's not like we shot lights out. We shot 31% from three, but we did shoot 58% from the field, and we were actually attacking the rim. And you could credit that to maybe UCF's AAU defense, as you said, but just seeing guys actually attack the rim, we saw some great. This is the best lob game we've ever seen, alley-oop wise. They actually went to a matchup zone, Lily. They went to a zone, and we had a nice little baseline cuts by Dillon Mitchell with some just elite alley-oop dunks that were actually pinpoint passes. It's been a long time since we've seen that. So really good stuff.
Betsy 3-2 over that zone.
Oh,
we haven't even talked about Betsy. I was getting a little pissed at people for saying he can't shoot. Like when he was during that rut, it's like, guys, come on, this guy can shoot. You could just tell. It's just a freshman. Stuff happens, Like
You're right.
We need this guy to play.
We've said on multiple shows, like first and foremost, if guys are going to be transferring, guys are going to be leaving, Betsy is probably the number one guy, as a young guy at least, that you want to retain. And it's strictly based on seeing the form. I mean, just watching the form, you're like, that guy can shoot the basketball. He's in a rut. That's fine. It would have been different if we were, still ranked 15th in the country. Do we need to play Betsy minutes at that point? No, we're long past that. Betsy deserves rotation minutes because he's one of the few guys that has a good stroke and it looks like it actually goes in. And he's starting to prove that. And he had some big shots, big nuts too. He was shooting at 3 feet behind the line.
Yeah, and apparently Wes just said that we played dodgeball on Monday instead of practice. So there we go, our new tradition.
That's what I was saying this 3 weeks ago. I was like, put a ping pong table in the facility. That's what the Bengals did. They were taking ping pong tables.
Yeah, you did.
Like, so do some funky stuff, whatever it helps to get out of this rut. Because, I mean, we've witnessed some of the worst. I mean, we were the worst offensive team in the Big 12. Basically, any stat you looked at, even just points per game, we were dead last. It was just under 60 points, which for a college basketball team is insane. And then we go for 93. And it wasn't simply just making open shots. They were actually shooting the ball quicker into the shot clock. I don't think I've seen the pace, and obviously UCF helped that. I haven't seen a pace like this for UC where they're actually shooting it when they're open. Because I think one of the biggest things is guys are afraid to pull the trigger, probably because they're shooting 20% from the field. But they were actually getting shots up quickly. Jizzle James wasn't doing the dribble James stuff because that's some of the worst offense you'll see. He was getting to his spot and shooting if he was open and then passing it. So the offense just looked really fluid. I mean, the defense was a little suspect, but when you're playing UCF, you can get away with it.
I think the last time we saw like even a flash of what you're just talking about was a Dayton game. And you remember at the end of the Dayton game when we almost let him back in it? We were kind of playing like this tonight. We just weren't converting the lobs. Like we were playing fast. We were trying to go for the kill, and it worked tonight. And just it's been so long with, how Mick tried to dribble games out. For so long, I've wanted to be a team that's good that also doesn't do that. They just go for the kill. Like it's been so long, and we did it versus UCF tonight. I don't think it's going to be like something we do down the stretch here, but it's just nice to see every once in a while. 93 points. Well, I was telling people be careful of that under, but I did not think we'd get to 93. Holy
I had a couple
Moses.
people tell me they were taking UC money line tonight, and I was like, dude, you need to check into an asylum. I don't know how. As one of the guys that I literally was betting UC like every game. And as I said on the last show, we're legitimately like 330th in the country against the spread. One of the worst teams you can bet on in college basketball. They were right. I don't know what it was. I know. Let me pull that up. What Wes said pregame. This is from our guy Keegan at BCJ that Wes Miller said, we have to play with relentless effort. If somebody isn't, they have to come out of the game. Effort has to be there. That's what wearing this jersey means. And initially, I wasn't sure if that was the case. I saw some loose balls go the other way early in this game. But these guys fought. Like, they did not quit. They very easily could have. I think we were down like 6 or 7 in the first 5 minutes. And I was going, oh, shit, here we go again. And these guys fought back. And I know you have your issues with Dillon Mitchell. Dillon Mitchell was a freak tonight. 9 of 14. 6 boards, 3 assists, 19 points. He was awesome. And then he pulled a Paul Pierce. Everyone was terrified. Did this guy just tear his knee in half? Came back in like 3 minutes. He was totally fine. He had a sick dunk like 3 minutes after we thought his ACL was blown. Dillon Mitchell, man, he was a problem tonight. He really was.
Yeah, and we were talking about how the team – like everyone looks bad. And it's just like everyone looked good tonight, except, Skillings in the first half. And this is what I'm talking about with not all of these players suck. And this next month is important for the coaching staff and fans. Like I'm challenging fans to look at, instead of picking on the guys that might be leaving and stuff like that, let's see who wants to be here. Like, show me you want to be here. There can be fun silver linings down the stretch here. games like this where like you're like, look, you can see the players be good again. And we know these guys don't all suck, but this season when they played on the same team, they have sucked. And so, yeah, I've got a little thing with Dillon Mitchell. I think he's part of why we have trouble in the half court. And it's not even me blaming him. It's more of a roster construction rant with Wes. And then some people go for Aziz. So, I mean, it's both. Like, to me, it's like one or the other. If you have a stretch 5, there's no issues with Mitchell. If you have a stretch 4, I don't think there's any issue. Like, I thought Aziz was really good tonight. And
7 of 8, dude. 16 points, 6 boards. I mean, this is this is the second best game Aziz has played outside of the Xavier game all season.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did everything that you would want Aziz to do. He finished around the rim. He had some good boards. He was active on the rebounding side of things. I thought Aziz played. 16 points. What is that? A season high for Aziz? It's got to be close.
Might be close to career high.
Yeah. Well, no, he probably had 30 against us at Utah Valley, but I digress.
Yeah. And I thought, to talk about the negatives, other than the KenPom updated, UCF rebounded 45% of their misses. That is extremely bad. And no name in the comments here talking about Aziz's defense. Yeah, it was very bad. I think the defense as a whole was pretty bad tonight. I just don't give a shit right now. That was too fun. It's fun to win different ways, Like, this team is not going to be gritty and win games like 50-49. We found that out. So let's do this and just see what happens. Let's put
the ball in the hoop. Like we've tried to do the thing where it's like, oh, we're a great defensive team. It hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out. We still, from an efficiency standpoint on the defensive side of the ball, are one of the better teams in the country. We need to see the ball go into the basket. So to see this, and if we took a slip as far as defensively, I'm okay with it. And yeah, Aziz has his issues on defense too. I know with his length and his blocking, that's why people clamor for him to the Aziz defenders of the world want to see him play. But he also had some really terrible turnovers tonight. But who cares? We won the game. And he actually 7 of 8 with 16 points. If you get that from Aziz, you're clapping your hands, right? You're saying this is fantastic. So it's just good to see a team like this where I thought maybe the last 5 games, I was like, oh, their backs are against the wall. I thought it was over. I was like, I think this team could legitimately lose out. And they proved me wrong, man. And I guess we could put to rest the rumors that have been going around that half of these guys quit because their agents told them they got NIL deals somewhere else, so don't get injured. That clearly ain't the case, folks. They played their asses off. They wanted to win this game bad.
Yeah, I don't get the quitting thing. I also don't get the rumors. Like, you see one post on Bearcat Journal and you're going to say, like, we're starting to hear things. It's like, no, you want that to be like, you want that to happen. So you're going to go post about it. Stuff might happen, guys. Like, and it's not an NIL thing. It's not like guys quit on bad teams. Like, there's just shit goes down and we've been a bad team. But again, we should focus our time, most of our time and energy on the guys that are like, show me who wants to be here. Like, I thought, like, to me, I want Dayday. I know a lot of people are frustrated with Dayday. I want Dayday to come back next year. He's got the Diego Pavia thing going, I think. I don't want him to be the starter next year. I think it'd be sweet if Jizzle stayed and got way better, or if Jizzle left or Dayday left, that we recruit like a 5th-year senior point guard who has production at the power level, like someone that is obviously, we can go into the season as fans being like, we upgraded at the point guard spot. But who on that court tonight are we going to, like, we need to stop picking on these guys on Twitter and just see what happens. The season's over, yes. But down the stretch here, you're going to see guys playing harder now that this is the pathetic part. Now that the coaches think it's over, you're going to see the rotation bigger. You're going to see more guys getting pulled when they're not hustling. It's a little too late with that stuff right now. But We need to see it, right? We got to see who wants to be here.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're kind of in almost the tryout phase for next season, unless Wes could pull a miracle. Hell, he just won a quad one game. I didn't know it was possible. He did it. He did it on the road. So with Dayday Thomas, we said it going into this season. I still love Dayday Thomas as a backup point guard. Is he a guy that you want shooting the ball 15 times a game? Is he going to do what he did tonight consistently? No, he's not. But he is a freak athlete, one of the quickest guys in all of college basketball. And he plays with tenacity, man. Like you said, he's just a Bearcat through and through. Like the guy, he was the one guy, even when he was going 3 of 14, I'm like, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it with how we're playing. The guy is relentless. He's a great defender too. So if you have him coming off the bench, if they do the JUCO rule, if that actually stands with all JUCO guys, I'd love to bring Dayday Thomas back. And hey, Jizzle James, he kind of finished this game for us too. We've had plenty of games where not necessarily we had the lead like this because we're 3-8 in conference. We didn't have many leads going into 5 minutes left in the game. But he had 3 baskets in the last few minutes, something like that, where he actually sealed the deal, hit a couple free throws. So kudos to Jizzle James. He's been one hell of a roller coaster. His dad was in the stands. They didn't put the wrong guy on there. He had the corded headphones too. I was a little shocked.
Can we get some AirPods here?
Yeah. I was like, Jesus. He's made like $80 million, but whatever. I don't have the AirPod Pros 2s either. I got the regular ones, Edrin. I'll give you my hookup, dude. Amazon link. But before we get into just, I don't know, talking overall program picture, schedule picture, anything that we missed as far as talking about tonight's game, it was a lot of fun. Like I said, Quad 1 West is what they're calling him now. Maybe that'll stick. But anything I'm missing, Lily, as far as what we saw tonight?
I just thought it was interesting that you could legit make an argument that Dayday, Aziz, Dillon, Jizzle, and Betsy all played their best game of the season on the same night. Now, Jizzle had a pretty good game at Villanova, and I think a lot of people forget that just because that game was a disaster. But you could make an argument that all those guys had their best games of the season tonight. And when UCF kept scoring, like, we got to give the guys credit for responding down the stretch. And like that Dayday 3 you were talking about, that was a huge 3 at the time. Like every time UCF got within 4 or 6, we hit a bucket. Betsy hit one. Dayday hit one. We had the steals and the lobs in between, stuff like that. But great response in game. Great response for how the season's going. Not much to complain about tonight.
We saw, now you mentioned that, we saw 2 of the most ridiculous things I've seen in a while. So right at the end of half, Dayday Thomas did I think he was trying to alley-oop it and then decided maybe I'll shoot it, and it just went straight in the air. And then he somehow, being 6'1", got above like a 7-footer, tipped it in. I was like, there's no way. Nope, sure enough, that thing counted. And then I saw the UCF, that 7-footer, he hit that baseline shot that hit the top of the backboard. That's what I was like, this is a team destined for failure. I was like, they're going to go on a run after this. Those were 2 of the most,
I thought we were going to lose
ridiculous
when that happened.
Yeah, I was like, they're hitting the fucking top of the backboard and it's going in. We're screwed. Wes has no chance. God's against him.
Have you ever seen that happen? I don't think I've seen it happen like that ever.
So I was looking up if that's even, I was like, is that out of bounds? So technically, apparently, it's got to be like from behind the backboard and then hit the top and then come back down, and then it's out of bounds. So I guess that technically counted. But I was like, this team's destined to lose. Like, there's no chance. And sure enough, hell, we rattled off a win. Wes Miller, I'm trying to look at the comments. Hey, in CMOS, like you said, everybody played great. CMOS, what was he, 2 of 7? He did not play great. And we still won. And that's why, all these other guys picking it up, because it's been few and far between where we've had more than one guy individually have a good game. Like, I can't even count on I can't count on one finger the amount of times I've seen 2 guys actually play well in the same game. And we had multiple. We had like 4 or 5 guys that played legit basketball tonight. Just good to see. It's getting to the point where I'm starting to feel bad, literally, because I know we're calling for Wes because objectively the guy hasn't gotten the job done, right? You just look at his resume, you look what he's done at UC. It hasn't been even close to what we expect and what we demand at UC. But it feels good just to get him a W, get these kids a little bit of confidence, and maybe we play well. Listen, I don't think a tournament berth is possible, but maybe go on a little bit of run, get some momentum, get the fans back on our side. I saw what UC Barstools were saying, boycott going to games. We're not doing that. We're not doing that at UC. We almost sold out the damn arena against West Virginia and put up a dud. So I just hope we can get some confidence back in the overall program because we were hitting rock bottom. And it's not like winning at UCF is going to change everything and all of a sudden we're great. But it's good to see a win, man. Just a W next to the schedule on a column. It feels good.
Yeah, go to the game. If you got tickets, go to the game, guys.
Go to the game.
It's if you don't show, or I don't know, hang out with your friends before the game. It's not all boycotting games doesn't do anything, except make it more lame for the people that are there. I think, but I mean, everyone do your own thing, I guess. But I just think tweeting that out was pretty lame.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I get the frustration. Hell, I mean, we're fans. I've never been more frustrated in 25 years of being kind of a diehard UC fan, probably ever. This is literally the singular year where I've been so frustrated watching this basketball team. And maybe I don't have enough hobbies. It's I've had people say they're not watching the game. I'm like, who the hell do you think you are, buddy? I'm watching every damn game, every second of the game. I'm not turning it off. It's just nice to see from a morale standpoint because we were getting close to no matter what type of kid you are, what type of coach you are, where you're looking in the mirror going, I don't think I got it. When you're putting up 50 points a game in Big 12 and, preseason 18th in the country, whatever we were, and you drop this far, it can hurt, man. It can hurt. And it's hurt the fans. So thankfully we got a win, but we do have – you think we could rattle off BYU and Utah? We got BYU at home on Saturday, and then we got Utah at home as well. Because then we start talking. We get 3 in a row, then I'm kind of like, wait a minute. And these are winnable games, but I mean, what do you think? I don't want to get, listen, we won 1 game. We're 3-8 in Big 12.
Lily checking in
close, right? Yeah,
with a negative comment here. I think BYU could score 100 points on Saturday if we play like we did today. They're humming right now. Their offense is top 15 now. But yeah, they also are due for a cold game. So I don't know, but I don't think we're going to be this sloppy at home on Saturday. The thing I was talking to about Niehaus last night or a couple nights ago was UCF. I think the reason why they kind of unexpectedly win games is they far and away are the fastest team in the league, and they're just weird to play. They make teams get out of their comfort zone. They make teams play faster than they want to. They speed it up, and we needed it. Wes keeps talking about how we're going to play faster, and we aren't. I think they practice it. I think they want to, and I think other teams are stopping us from doing it. So it was nice to play a team that just can't stop us from playing how we want to play.
I mean, it was interesting, though. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, them moving the tempo up. And shout out to Michael Rolfe, $20 after a 3-8 Big 12 start. We really appreciate it. We need it. Hell, I might send that to the NIL fund at this point. But listen, BYU does look great. They really do. And, oh, shit. Uh-oh. Oh, we got Chuck in the building.
I'm Jimmy Butler, baby.
Did we win?
Oh, we
won.
Big W. Quad 1 West.
Woo! I saw we were up 8.
Chuck, we scored 93 points. 93
Billy, you in a
points,
hostage
Chuck.
situation over there? Good God. I thought Hudson's spectrum was bad.
Oh, shit.
I thought it was mine, too. Chuck, what do you got? I know you were just doing the Warrior stuff. We just got Wes's first quad one of the season. We put up 93 points.
All right, notes that I took. I mean, I was watching the majority of it. So I tuned in at 17:42 in the first half. And the first note that I had was I watched CMOS and Dillon watch a rebound go right into UCF's hand, an offensive board. Knights didn't get anything from it, but I was thinking, oh my God, this effort. Are we kidding me? Then I proceeded to watch him turn it on, man. I mean, the tempo with UCF having 25th compared to UC's 298th, it's clear what UC needs to do, right? They need to get in positions where they can run. We've said that all year, like score in transition, get in the flow of things. Don't slow it down. It's funny because the broadcasters like Cincinnati's bread and butter is half-court offense and really slowing down the game and grinding out the game. I'm like, clearly it's not our bread and butter because we suck. But anyways, I just wanted pride from these guys. I wanted them to play hard. I wanted them to know that 12,000 people yell because they care, to represent. And from what I saw, and it was, until UC kind of climbed away with it with about 8 minutes left, up 8, they looked awesome, man. They looked awesome. I had some issues with Dan. I don't know how he finished down the stretch. You can let me know. But, I mean, Dayday Thomas, 18 points in the first half. Then first bucket of the second half, CMOS knocks down a 3. I'm like, I think we may get this. Then Lily texts me and goes, Chuck, get in the studio. Jimmy Butler traded to the Warriors. So I had to hop on Locked On. Anyways, I am back. Take it from here, fellas.
All right, well, I will say Dan Skilling's had a couple of big buckets late in the second half to seal the deal. And no, he overall it was a tough game from Dan. And him seeing with that knee brace on, dude, I can't help but feel bad. I'm like, God, he was supposed to be our guy. And I think that injury took a lot out of wind out of his sails. But 93 points, man. And you're right. It's
93 points?
93
the Cats
points.
just scored 90. The team that scored 40 at home just scored 93 points. It's crazy going into a post-game show where you don't know what happened down the stretch. I mean, I know we were rolling, but come on, give me the box score. Who had 40?
Well, if you turned it off when you did, you probably assumed that Dayday Thomas finished with 40. He finished with 20. He still looked great, though. He still looked great. He just wasn't going, LeBron James on him in the second half. And then we had Jizzle James picked it up. Aziz Bandaogo, Chuck, I think he finished with 16 points, 7 of 8. How about that?
Oh, God. I took him on the under 6.5 points in that DraftKings 6 for 6 that I sent you. So that didn't win. But, hey, we'll take a W.
And you should have asked me. Aziz, I would have told you Aziz was just going to get buckets tonight.
Dude, so is March back on, fellas? Are we starting to get that music ever so quietly?
No. Don't be baiting me into that one.
That's a quad one win, baby. They don't care about your losses in this game. They care about your wins.
I was saying the masculine urge just to whisper we're back after winning one quad one game. It was strong. It was strong tonight, I have to say. But listen, let's just look at the game in front of us. We got BYU on Saturday. If you win that game, right, and then you got Utah coming after that, and we've seen how we play against Utah, right? It should have been a gimme. We lost the game. We're very capable of losing every game. We said that many times. We have a lot of losable games on the schedule. But if you beat BYU, and I think they can. Granted, we lost them by 30 points, and I think they shot 65% from 3. With a little bit of confidence in this roster, which I thought the team quit, Chuck. I was saying it earlier in the show. I was like, I think this team quit. I think Wes is even questioning if he's the guy. They didn't quit. So that's the one positive you can look at regardless of what happened tonight. These guys fought. They certainly did. If you beat BYU at home and BYU is on a roll, then all of a sudden I might start convincing myself maybe we got a shot to get hot late. And that's a terrible thing to do, but I might just do it.
And to your point real quick about BYU, like how many – I mean, what did they get on us? They got 80, and it felt like they didn't miss a shot all night. Look at UCF. When they played Kansas at home, they lost 99-48. When they played Kansas away last week, they almost beat them. They lost 91-87. So they scored almost 40 more points the second time they played them. This is how basketball works. Like, just
Lily,
you can't just look at the last game and be like, it's going to happen again.
No, there's no. First off, no, I'm not confident by any means. And I will say, UC from can't remember, was it Evan Maya, one of those guys? We had the literal dead last offensive efficiency in all of Power 5 basketball. Dead last. You know how many goddamn teams there are in the Power 5? And we were dead last. So, granted, we might go up to like fourth last after 93 points. So you can't look at one game and say, oh, we figured it out by any means. But just seeing guys put the ball in the basket, I'll take it.
No, and that's UCF. Like, this is a huge win just because we can't let that team get over the hump. Like, and granted, I don't think they're going to be Houston anytime soon. Dawkins isn't building to Houston. But you look, Niehaus threw out the stat today. Before that first American Conference Championship game, it was 30-3 Cincinnati over the last 33 meetings. What do you think it is with UCF? I mean, Cincinnati had won 5 in a row. Even the bad teams consistently have beaten UCF. Like, we've lost a few here and there. There was one where Cumberland did something. I think he fouled with like a second left, or it was something dumb. It wasn't the Colgate half-court shot. But, like, this is a team that we just own. Like, I'm sure the UCF fans' perspective is, God, we just can't beat Cincinnati. So it's huge that you go out there and you continue to own these types of games, get a little confidence in the process, and hopefully win one at home to see if this thing is for real or if it's just a mirage in the Vegas sun because we haven't had enough water. I don't know what that analogy is. It's not Niehaus's fish climbing up a tree, but I do my best, folks. But hey, it's exciting, man. I just want to see Pride, man. I want to see him play hard. I want to see who wants to be here. I want to confirm that these rumors that are going around that everyone's just worried about their NIL deals and they're not actually focused on basketball and they've quit on Wes and he's a dead man walking and all this. I want him to prove me wrong. Remember when he said, I'm going to say thank you? I'm going to say thank you to all these people. I want him to say me by name at the podium. I want him to say, Chatterbox Sports, this is for you. This one's for you. We did it. A win over UCF? I don't know if I'm there yet, but quad one, baby.
Quad one, dude. It's quad one, and just so you know, breaking news that he's never going to mention your name, Chuck. Unfortunately, I think they blocked us on all socials, the entire UC administration. So I'm not sure they're seeing much from us.
We yell because we care. We'll be back.
No, and listen, it probably is a mirage, right? It probably is. Like, I think that this team, we're deep enough in the season to kind of know what we are. I don't care. You're right. Just to see the team play with passion and fight and a little more UC toughness, as the kids say. It's nice to see some fight from this team, man. And we know that these guys aren't bad. Individually, these are not bad basketball players. And we just haven't seen that in 6 weeks. Like, it literally looked like, I'm like, wait a minute, this whole team, are these guys just bad at basketball? No, like they're not. And they have a chance to prove that and build on this momentum. We can talk. If we beat by BYU, like I said, I might be jumping on the train of, can we do it? Can we pull a Georgetown? Can we pull a Georgetown and just rattle off like 12 straight? Make the tournament, be an 11 seed, go on a little run.
NC State, man. I mean, Kevin Keats was a dead man walking last year. I talked to a Wolfpack fan actually at the Warriors game on Monday against the Magic. We were sitting at a brewery talking, and I'm like, Kevin Keats back on the hot seat. He's like, nah, he signed like a 4-year extension after that Final Four run. I'm like, you pissed? He's like, no. He's like, I don't care if we suck for the next 10 years. He's like, it was pure nostalgia. He went to the Final Four. He's like, it was pure nostalgia. I mean, get hot. Get hot. Be playing at the right time in the conference tournament. A lot of coaches nowadays, they don't think the conference tournament matters. It's going to matter to this team. So I just want them to be hungry and to stay together, play hard, win or lose. I mean, they lose, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be coming on this show yelling. Let's get real. It's what I do. I yell because I care. That's the theme of the show. But for tonight, from what I saw, man, it was they played well. Jizzle, Dayday, Dillon, Aziz, Betsy had a pretty nice night off the bench. I thought Frederick came in and gave him some good minutes, although the stat sheet doesn't necessarily say so. So, I mean, try to find me a negative from tonight, fellas. I can't find a single one.
I don't have one. You know, we got to just enjoy this a season like this with how the expectation, and we got to just be happy. and to Houdini's point about it being a mirage, it's probably a mirage, but these guys the players are humans just like us. And maybe a mirage, like put some gas back in the tank, like I think Wes's spiel is kind of running out of gas with players. Like, I don't think they're not trying, but I think that extra effort, that stuff we want to see, it's just not there because the belief is down a little. And maybe this puts a little gas back in the tank and they're like, you know what? We aren't this shitty. Like, just start shooting more. Like, actually, you know what, Chuck? Something did piss me off today early in the game. CMOS passing up open threes. Like, that's all I want from you, man. All the turnovers we had. I swear, every time he passes up a three, we turn the ball over.
There was one play. There were a couple plays where Dan turned it over and it was ugly, but there was one specifically. He didn't turn it over, but he caught the ball and had Rayvon right wing. And I mean, Rayvon, we've heard he's not a great shooter. I watched him in the Ohio State game and watched him in the non-conference. Like, he can knock down a bucket if he's wide open. He's wide open, standing there, catch and shoot. He's ready. What does Dan do? Just a ball stopper, man. He sits there. He dribbles twice for no reason. He passes it, gets a handoff, makes some move to the basket, misses it. And look who flies in for the rebound. It's Rayvon Griffith. Now, granted, he got swatted by about 4 guys at the same time. That'll happen to you. But that's the type of thing with Dan. It's like, dude, connect. Like, find the open man, swing it, move the basketball. I wasn't watching him closely enough all game to know if that was a reoccurring theme. But that play specifically, I wrote it down in the notes. It stuck out, man.
No, he had another one with CMOS that was just wide open, and he just refused to kick it. And I think me and Lily were covering that it's like he's trying to force his own offense because he's been in such a skid that he's doing stuff that doesn't make sense from just a fluid standpoint on the offensive side. And Jason mentioned, don't look at the rebounding. We're talking about all this effort and whatnot, and a lot of times you look at rebounding as an effort stat. I mean, we got demolished on the boards. 39 to 27. We gave up 17 offensive rebounds. Like, that's that's pretty tough to do. 17 offensive boards. You're not going to do that if you play a team that has any semblance of a good defense. So certainly can't carry that over to the next game. End of the day, listen, we outplayed them in offense, which is the first time you could say that all season.
Yeah, turn them over 16 times, bothered them with the length. That take that I had at the beginning of the season, Cincinnati's going to win a lot of games due to their size, their speed, their athleticism. They haven't won a lot of games due to that. This is one of those games where they clearly affected UCF, and clearly it shows that they can play in this style of basketball game. Lily, considering that, who do you now like Cincinnati against that kind of reminds you a bit of how UCF plays? Is there anyone in the league that has this similar style to where maybe it's like, we can sneak another quad one game?
Quad one wise on our schedule, I don't see it. It's Baylor, Iowa State, Houston. I will be shocked if we beat any of those teams. The best chance is Baylor at home. But in
West
terms
Virginia,
of
Lily. At West Virginia.
At West Virginia.
Quad
Yeah,
one.
Good point. That's our shot right there. And they just look smarter and better than us. So we just got a bum sleigh. We got a bum sleigh, Chuck. We're going for Utah. We're going for Oklahoma State. We're going for TCU. We're going for Kansas State. Prove that you're not the worst team in the conference. That's what I'm looking for.
Right. And we do have a number of winnable games. I mean, we just saw Kansas State beat Iowa State. So, I mean, I don't know if that's an easy game either. I mean, none of these games are going to be easy. Obviously, we're deep enough into the season to know no game in the Big 12 for this team is going to be easy. But you're right. You just can't finish in like the bottom 3 of the Big 12 just from an embarrassment standpoint. Save face. We were projected to finish 6th. It's looking more like 14th right now. So win the games that you should win. Tonight we won a game that we weren't favored to win in Vegas. We finally beat Vegas. That's another W. I
got a question for you, Vinny.
Yeah.
On the spot. What position in the Big 12 do you think we are in KenPom right now?
10.
11th.
We're 9th. It's like it's
what? Check the BPI too, Lily. They gave us a 70% chance to make the tournament yesterday. We might be like an 85 now that we beat a quad one team on the road. They're like, yeah, this is a lock. We're like a 7 seed.
Let me ask you this. Houdini, because I haven't been able to play that intro video. That's so beautiful. It's music and video to our ears and eyes. Did you get to play that today after a win?
Well, I'll say this. I couldn't figure out how to play it. I called Kirby. I was like, we got to play this. And he got it. He fired it off. We played it. We got it. I was like,
I haven't been able to play that in a while. The closest thing I got to it was right as Wes was saying in the intro video, I am fired. I had to cut out of it and say, we're not fired up. Or the Cats they're not back. So you got to play it all the way through. That's exciting stuff, man. It's been a tough season.
No, it is.
And even when you don't watch the end of it, just hopping on here and learning the fate of the team, knowing that we didn't collapse down the stretch, smiles all around.
Yeah, Chuck, do you want to do your broadcasting, what you were born to do, and close this show out? I've said all I can say on this game. We'll be back at it on Saturday against BYU. Hopefully we can keep this momentum going. But Chuck, this is your bread and butter. You want to close this sucker out for us?
Thank you. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Do you hear that? They're gone. No bagpipes. This team is back. Now, I didn't, unfortunately, drop in the March Madness music for us to play right now, but ever so slightly, I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood, because after I did it last year, they lost every single game, but ever so slightly. Jizzle James getting hot down the stretch of the season. Dillon Mitchell putting up 19 points. Cincinnati scoring 93 against a competent team. I mean, UCF's 4-7 in conference. Nothing to write home about. But somehow that's a quad one win, and we will take it. For Eric Lilly, Houdini, you know him as Hudson Klauke. Nick Niehaus is painting his house. I'm Chuck Walter. This is Chatterbox Bearcats. You can find it wherever you get your audio podcasts and on YouTube. We will see you after BYU. Peace, everyone.